Hello friends. I don't remember reading, or I forget everything I read. This problem is present in almost all the students. Today we will learn some easy ways to remember to read, so let's start today's episode. So welcome to the Real Uncommon and Interesting 24 channel. I don't remember reading, or I forget everything I read. This problem is present in almost all the students. Many people do not read the correct rules, but after a few days they forget it. Again, many use some techniques to remember to read and are able to remember for a long time in a hurry. If you don't read the correct technique, you are more likely to forget to read. Here are some tips to help you remember. Create interest. Sitting down to read with interest. Just as you sit with interest and winning while watching a game or a movie, you also have to create interest from within while reading. It's hard to read, I don't remember, I don't understand, I have to get out of these preconceptions and sit empty-handed. Studying is more or less difficult for all of us. And if this difficult subject is to be made easy and useful to remember, then there must be interest. Because the work that will not be interested is not done properly. Concept tree. A good strategy to remember to read is the concept tree. Before learning a subject in this way, you have to divide the whole chapter into 7 parts and write a summary in a line for each part. Then a tree in the book should write down the 7 essence of each tree on one of the leaves. Then a daily glance at the pages will give you a complete idea of the chapter. This is a tried and tested scientific concept. Keyword: the difficult parts of any subject can be easily remembered in the form of rhythm. For example, the simplest technique to remember the 7 colors of the rainbow is to memorize the word, Venyasakala. The word has the first initials of 7 colors. Similarly, if you remember the spelling of the English word, lieutenant, and the spelling will become as long as you remember, lieutenants. Read carefully little by little. If you want to remember something, it is very useful to divide it into different parts or segments. For example, 4,890 and 790 are easier to remember than the number 4,890. We are afraid to read a lot of textbooks, but it is easy to remember when we read a large group. Because our brain can remember small things more than big things. You have to practice reading and writing. Writing stimulates much more areas of our brain. The parts of the brain involved in writing help to convert information into permanent memory. In addition, when people want to write something, they pay more attention to the subject, which helps in creating a permanent memory. Using markers. Many people use markers when reading. It is quite effective. Because when something is marked, the interest and attraction towards that word or sentence increases, as well as increasing the visual effect of the brain on it. The result is an advantage to remember. Study after dusk. Various studies have shown that the human brain does not function before 10 o'clock in the morning. From this time onwards, the activity of the brain gradually increases. Increases brain activity, especially in the afternoon. So reading in the morning is more effective than reading in the afternoon or evening. Get enough sleep. The brain basically works to create memories inside sleep. Studies have shown that activities or events throughout the day are converted into memory during sleep. As a result, if you want to convert any information into memory, you need to get enough sleep along with reading. Not to mention memorization. Memorization makes thinking useless. The joy of studying also destroys. If you memorize something without understanding it, it cannot be kept in memory for long. But this does not mean that nothing can be memorized consciously. Fragments of information such as year, date, name of the book, name of the person, any source of science, etc. must be understood and memorized. Revised studies have shown that we forget about 3/4 of what we read or hear all day today after 5 days. There are some tips to prevent this from happening, such as 15-minute break after 45 minutes and revise the reading in that break in your mind and check it again if you get stuck somewhere. Read something important today and revise it before going to bed tomorrow. Then revise it after a week and it will be remembered for a long time. If you like the video, you can share it, and if you like the secret uncommon interesting video, but subscribe to the channel, Real Uncommon and Interesting 24, now. So it looks like you'll be fine. Until then, in the next episode. Thanks.